Hello everybody. Welcome to Live from Home number 98, I think. Let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from. I hope you enjoy the music. And I wanted to let you all know that my course series, Complete Fingerstyle Guitar, is on sale for the next few days only for 80% off the full price. I think the stream is working here. Let me know if you can hear me. You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold. See the west wind move for days a while among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as the sun comes down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love? Among the fields of barley, in to tell the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. See the west wind move like a lover's soul among the fields of barley. Feel her body rise as you kiss her mouth among the fields of gold. I never made promises like these, and there have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we'll walk in fields of gold. We'll walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. Alright, well, I'm not seeing the chat working here. So, let me see. Okay, now it's working. You can't hear me, good. They changed the settings on my little chat monitor here. Alright, well, I was a little distracted during that song, but not to worry because I've got many more to come. I'm just going to play a handful of songs for you all. Let me know in the comments if you have any requests. Appreciate you all tuning in. This is kind of more my regular time of Saturday early evening. And for anyone who missed it, I'm sure many of you didn't miss it because I've been streaming it from the rooftops. My fingerstyle guitar courses are on sale for the next few days only for 90% off. And anyone who purchases the courses will go into the draw to win one of these, which is an Udo Rosner DeCapo 75 acoustic guitar amplifier. The finest acoustic guitar amplifier on the market, I think. Alright, here's a song that I do teach and work through in the courses. This is Streets of London. Hope you enjoy it. Have you seen the old man who walks the streets of London? Dirt in his hair and her clothes in her rags. She's no time for talking, she just keeps right on walking, carrying her home in 2 carrier bags. How can you tell me that you're lonesome? Say for you the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old man outside the seaman's mission? Memories fading with the metal ribbon that he wears. In our winter city, the rain cries a little pity for one more forgotten hero in a world that doesn't care. So how can you tell me that you're lonesome and say for you the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old man who walks the streets of London? Clothes in her rags. In our winter city, the rain cries a little pity for one more forgotten hero in a world that doesn't care. So how can you tell me that you're lonesome and say for you the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Can you play Windy and Warm? I can definitely play Windy and Warm. Windy and Warm has no words, so I can't mess it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a little Windy and Warm, written by John D. Loudermilk, arranged by Chet Atkins. Classic fingerstyle tune. I teach that song in the intermediate fingerstyle guitar course, and yeah, it's great to see so many people jumping on board with these courses. This is pretty much my biggest sale of the year because I'm moving these courses, which are really my flagship fingerstyle series, to my Invisible Technique teaching platform. And this sale will only happen once because it's to celebrate them moving from the old platform, which was Udemy, to Invisible Technique. So click the link if you'd like to learn more about the courses. There's a beginner, intermediate, and an advanced course. And I've had over 12,000 students go through them to date, which is a pretty amazing thing. And they're really fun and easy to go through, and it really builds your technique from the ground up so that you can play all kinds of different songs in all kinds of different genres and have a great time doing so, and kind of alleviate the frustration and the uncertainty of like, what do I do? How do I practice? How do I learn all these songs? Because I show you all the patterns and exercises that kind of gradually work your way up to being able to play really cool songs, just like that one, Windy and Warm. All right, someone's calling me on my phone. Not going to take that. Okay, so the prize is a request that's come through from Alex. This is for you, Alex. Thanks for the request. This is the prize. Title track off my last album. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had a one-way conversation with me, myself, and I about the way we've been living. Can't imagine why. To get to where we're going, it's a clouded compromise. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. Maybe I've been distracted, quite possibly you're right. This big old bright and shining world has kept me up at night. We all know that price tag shouldn't come as no surprise. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. Some days I live with no regrets. Some days I just as soon forget. Some days a diamond, some a stone. Some things I just as soon leave alone. So where does all this leave me? I can't really say I know. I got more questions than answers, quite a ways to go. I can't let that deter me. This I realize. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. Some days I live with no regrets. Some days I just as soon forget. Some days a diamond, some a stone. Some things I just as soon leave alone. Had a one-way conversation with me, myself, and I about the way we've been living. Can't imagine why. To get to where we're going, it's a clouded compromise. You're mistaken if you think I'm taking my eyes off the prize. My eyes off the prize. My eyes off the prize. Alright, I'm having fun now, I'm warmed up now, I'm relaxed now. I see some nice requests coming through. I'm feeling like taking some requests, so let me know if you have any. I'm gonna give a little preferential treatment to the songs that I've written, because I'm not a big cover song person, believe it or not, although the internet would think I am, because the internet shares the cover songs to places far and wide that the original music doesn't have a chance to reach, because that's what people click on, songs they're familiar with. It makes sense when you think about it. Strutting It. Ask Maxine. Good request, Maxine. Thank you. Alright, here we go. This is Strutting It. I wrote this song when I was 17 years old. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. I love playing that song too. Linda requests Flow. I can do that. Many Vibe says his pinky stretches so far. Yeah, the left pinky's longer than the right pinky from playing the guitar. So beware anyone who goes down the path of trying to do all the big stretches. Your hands will mutate. Here we go. This is Flow for Linda. There we go, that was Flow. Thanks very much for the request, Linda. Ah. Well, I know that everyone's tuning in from different parts of the world, but it's absolutely beautiful weather here in Montana. It's a little cool, but it's sunny, and springtime is just around the corner, and that's a beautiful feeling because springtime here is just gorgeous. Although there's probably going to be a lot of snow melting up in the mountains and lots of water coming down the river. I'm just looking for some lyrics of a song that I want to play. Just flip through, bear with me for a moment. There it is. For anyone who's just tuning in, my fingerstyle guitar courses are on sale for the next few days only for 80% off the full price, so do check them out. The link is below in the video description, and it's great to see so many people jumping on board with those courses. Wish you all the best with your guitar playing. This song is called The Spark, and I have recorded it, but I haven't finished the recording of it. So stay tuned for that. Here we go. It's the spark that wakes you up with the sun, the morning air. Knows not what you could become, but deep in you, down in the dark, there is a spark. It's the spark that lets you know she is the one. There's nothing like that feeling life has just begun. You see it's true, down in the dark there is a spark. You and I are fools to deny that sacred nature deep down in you. It's the spark, that is who you really are. It's in your eyes. We can see the shining star burning through. Down in the dark there is a spark. It's the spark that will carry you through time to claim your place in the endless paradigm. You see it's true, down in the dark there is a spark. You and I are fools to deny that sacred nature deep down in you. There's the spark that helps you know right from wrong. It's in us all, hiding right where it belongs. Down deep in you, down in the dark there is a spark. You see it's true, down in the dark there is a spark. we drove the Spark. I'll read some of the comments over here. Listening from Frankfurt, Germany. Cheers, Bernd. Flo and the Spark both have that tremendously warm vibe, not flashy. Caresses the soul just perfectly. I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. Appreciate the nice words on the song. I'll play another newish song. This one's an instrumental. It's called Moon Road. Hope you like it. So I've got a question to ask you about that song. I'm debating whether to play it with a thumb pick or with a flat pick. So I'm just going through my pick box here to find a pick. To show you what it sounds like if I play that with a flat pick. It has a bit of a different vibe. I'll play a little and you can tell me what you think, if you don't mind. 1 second. Trying to see if I have my good pick. My blue chip is hiding here somewhere. There it is. stop while I'm ahead. As you can see, it needs some work with the pick, but has a bit of a different vibe, different sound. So basically, the way I play guitar, I love to play as a solo performer. I've played with a lot of different bands in the past. When I was 11 or 12 years old, I started a band with some friends at school, and we played a lot of kind of psychedelic rock songs with long guitar solos, and we had an organ player. We also played some saxophone. We were called the Chaotic Penguins. And so I cut my teeth growing up playing electric guitar in a band context. And about 10 years ago, I had my own trio for 5 years or so, and we toured in a lot of different places in Europe and the States and Japan and Australia and different parts of the world. And I came back to the realization that being a solo musician is really something that I love. And one of the challenges of playing solo guitar is keeping a groove going while you play the chords and while you play melodies. If you listen to someone like James Taylor or someone playing folk fingerstyle guitar, oftentimes there's not a melody involved. It's just an accompaniment style. But I like to play melodic fingerstyle guitar, so there's a melody being played and then there's some accompaniment being played all at once on the guitar. And it's a challenging style to develop, and many people will hear someone playing this way and think that just looks impossible, it sounds impossible, I have no idea where to even begin. And the truth is, you do need someone who really has a pretty deep understanding of this method of playing to show you how it works, because it's the kind of thing where you really have to build up. The thumb independence is a big one to start with, and the left hand control, being able to play with kind of a nice legato feel, which I like to play with that more legato approach than a lot of people. But just really building the technique from the ground up. And so that's what I try to do with my teaching, and people seem to really react to it, so I keep doing it, keep sharing the information. And my fingerstyle guitar courses, I have a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced course. And they're the best way I know how to present you with a step-by-step, really foolproof method of developing your own ability to play fingerstyle guitar songs. I won't say it's easy. It does take some work, and it is going to be challenging. It's challenging to everybody. It was challenging to me when I first learned it, and it's going to be really challenging to everybody, but it's a challenge that's worth persevering with, because it's such a rewarding thing to be able to play guitar self-accompanied like this. And it's very practical. You don't need to rely on anybody. You can just create beautiful sound with just an acoustic guitar. That's all I'm playing. One guitar, one microphone, playing, singing sometimes, and making a lot of music that's hopefully bringing joy to you all. What do you think of Alexandra Arada's style of playing? I'm not familiar with him. I'd love to hear the Chatterbox or Sorry, Can You Play Endlessly? Those are all great requests. You guys have the best. Cher says, you succeed with your teaching. Your lessons are inspiring. Well thought out and clear. Thank you, Cher. It means a lot. What was the first fingerstyle song you ever learnt? Says Majadovich. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Well, the first fingerstyle guitar lesson I had was with a fella who was a friend of my parents, and he could play a lot of Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed songs, and he said, Joe, check out this thumb pick, and he showed me how to play this blues pattern. Of course, when I first learnt it, it wasn't very smooth and connected. It felt all a bit jumbled, but that kind of was enough to get me started and for me to learn that thumb pattern. And from there, I learnt Freight Train. from there I was off to the races. And those are pretty much the first things I teach people. Those are in the beginner guitar course, Freight Train and that blues kind of pattern. So that's kind of how I got my start. Kyle says, do you have any tips for getting into jazz? Yeah, it depends what you mean by jazz. So sometimes that question can mean, do you have any tips for learning how to improvise and play over the changes, that kind of thing? But if you're asking how to play jazz chords, then that's kind of a different question. I mean, I think the best way is to just sit down with a teacher who can teach you jazz. There's no substitute for that. However, there is a lot of information out there that you can soak in. I find that a lot of information is a little hard to digest sometimes. That's why like YouTube can be a bit of a rabbit hole in terms of if you're going to learn from this video and that video and this video and that video, it's really hard to kind of connect it all. But if you can find an online course, that's sometimes an easier way to go about it. I'd recommend checking out Martin Taylor and Frank Vignola. They are both friends of mine, and they're two of the great jazz guitar players, and they have a lot of teaching materials online. I don't really teach jazz per se, but I have a lot of lessons where I teach jazz songs, like Sweet Georgia Brown. Etc. It's a really fun style to play, but yeah, I'm really kind of more from the school of playing blues, rock and roll, folk music, funk, R&B, etc., and kind of blending those into using the fingerstyle guitar technique to play songs in all those different genres and kind of borrow from each of them. In fact, one of my most popular requests is from people who want to learn to play kind of real tasty things, and they're not interested in learning jazz. There's a lot of people out there who just don't want to learn jazz. Anyway. Fly Me to the Moon is an easy standard with endless potential. Yeah, Fly Me to the Moon would be a good song for me to play. Would love to see you play with Yosho Stefan sometime, says Larry D'Amica. Yosho and I played together many years ago in Germany, and we've kind of kept in touch since then. I was probably 17 or 18 years old, and he would have been just a few years older than me. And we were at the Music Messe trade show in Frankfurt, and we played together a handful of times, and just a lovely fellow and just an amazing player. Yosho is a great person to go to if you want to learn gypsy swing guitar. Oh yeah, I see a few questions there about how do you train your voice as you sing so well. Well, thank you. I definitely didn't always sing well. It's been difficult to figure out how to sing, especially when it's like most guitar players spend all their time playing the guitar, and most of us don't spend a lot of time talking to people. at least I don't. So developing the strength and the resonance of the voice is something that I've kind of had a challenge with. Well, let me tell you a little story. When I started my coaching community, which is on Invisible Technique, I have a coaching program which I work with students. It's kind of my closest way of working with students, where they can post videos of themselves and I make critiques. Once I realized that when I see somebody play a song, because of my experience working on fingerstyle guitar and guitar in general, I can hear them play, and in 10 seconds, I instantly have a bunch of ideas. Try this. Try having the left hand not be as tense. You might want to learn this song, which would help with this technique. Your timing is not quite right. Your have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? I'm always encouraging, but I always can think of things that I can suggest that maybe the person hasn't thought of, even if it's just a fresh set of ears on an arrangement or a song that they're working on. And I realize that there's so much value in having someone knowledgeable work with you. So I started taking voice lessons recently again, because I'd taken voice lessons in the past, and basically the most recent voice lessons I've taken have been undoing a lot of the bad habits and a lot of the strange things I picked up from the variety of voice teachers that I've seen. And so it really is worth finding someone who is very good. You'll know when you find someone who's a really outstanding teacher, and it's worth sticking with them. I always feel like the student's responsibility is to make sure that you're getting what you need from the teacher. And if you're not, then you need to try to find somebody else. Because if you have a teacher that just doesn't work for you, then don't let that ruin your musical journey. Go and find someone else. I really think it's worth searching for that person. And there's nothing like in-person lessons. But in-person lessons are difficult. They're just not as practical as an on-demand course, which is why I create on-demand courses. And I can be here in Montana, and people can post videos, and I can make a comment, and you can have that interaction. It's pretty great. So, for anyone who's just tuning in, if you purchase my guitar courses pretty much this weekend, it ends on Tuesday, you go in the draw to win one of these, which is the Capone 75 amplifier from Udo Rosner Amps. It's a great acoustic guitar amplifier, the best acoustic guitar amplifier I've ever heard. And anyone who purchases my courses at 80% off goes in the draw to win one of these amps. So it's a really cool giveaway. This is like my biggest sale of the year. This is the only time these courses will be on sale like this. So do check it out. It's to celebrate the moving to my Invisible Technique course platform from Udemy. They were on Udemy, but they're now on Invisible Technique. All right. Play something from the Delta. Good question. I saw so many requests that I can't remember what they all were. I'll play a little bit of Cannonball Rag. How about that? That's a Mel Travis tune. That's Cannonball Rag. I teach that in, I think, the intermediate course, maybe the advanced course. I see a few questions there about whether the courses will still be on Udemy. If you purchased the courses on Udemy when they were available on Udemy, you will have lifetime access to the courses on Udemy, so that they're not leaving Udemy for people who've already bought them on Udemy in the past. However, they will no longer be updated or maintained by me, and I'm never going to log on to Udemy again to answer any questions. Udemy has been a blessing and a curse in terms of I've reached a lot of people and I've reached a lot of students, but it's a challenging platform to love on many levels. I really breaks my heart when I had people email me and say, Joe, I purchased the course on Udemy, but I made a typo in my email address and they won't give me a refund. And I say, yeah, that's kind of the way it works with Udemy. I don't have access to any of the customer information. I don't know who my students are. I don't know where they are. I don't know their names. I don't know their email addresses. And so I can't verify 12,000 people and migrate them to my Invisible Technique platform. So what I've done is I've made the Invisible Technique courses on sale for 80% off. And if you move from Udemy to Invisible Technique, not only do you get the ability to ask me questions within the course, leave comments, I do maintain them. You'll get a much better level of customer service, I can tell you that. You'll go in the draw to win an amp, and any updates to the courses you'll be privy to, because guitar courses, they're kind of living, breathing things. People make requests, people ask things, they say, hey Joe, have you thought about this? And then I'll add it, I'll update it, I'll tweak it, I'll change it. And so going forward, Invisible Technique is my course platform. That's where I have the most direct connection with my students, and it's where I'm going to be for the foreseeable future. I'm not making any more courses for Udemy. I'm not making any more courses for TrueFire. So Invisible Technique is where you'll find me. I'll still make free videos on YouTube because I really want to make the content available to people in different parts of the world where you can't access sites. Like in Russia, I've had a bunch of students in Russia tell me they can't access any of my courses in Russia because the payment providers don't allow you to buy outside of Russia, and then the sites and the servers don't work over there. So YouTube is a good way to put out free information for those who want it. But YouTube is, the downside of YouTube is my incentive is to keep you watching. My incentive is not to give you show you what you need to know in the most efficient amount of time as possible. So that's why courses are superior, I think, is because you can get right to the point, and that's that. So I hope that made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. I think I'll go to wrap up in a few minutes. The other thing about Udemy is the educator doesn't control the pricing. So Udemy can slash the price of my courses, and in some cases they'd slash it to like $9.99, and then they'd pay me like basically $1 per course. So I'm very happy to not have to be dealing with any of that anymore. So here we go. I'm going to play one last song. Let me just select what it might be. This is a song I wrote about the notorious gangster Al Capone. I wrote it with my friend Brennan Lee, who's a fantastic artist and songwriter. It tells the story of when Al Capone went out to Alcatraz and started a band called the Rock Islanders, and Al Capone played the banjo. I bet many of you didn't know that story. There's a castle out in Franklin off Old Hillsborough Road, called by Al Capone his Tennessee abode. It's on the way to Leapers Fork, 20 miles south of Nashville. Rumors are there's gold buried in the hills. I moved in just down the street in the winter of 15. A restless spirit lingered in my January dreams. I can't explain, but I could sense the ghost of Al Capone breathing on the cold glass of my snow-covered home. I thought it was paranoia till I saw him eye to eye, and in lucid conversation he spoke of days gone by, of roulette wheels, Tommy guns, lawmen on his back, cigar smoking snooker, his bulletproof Cadillac. Said he built that castle at a halfway point, from Illinois to New Orleans, a clandestine gambling joint. And after my encounter, I felt like I knew the man, but his twisted motivations I just couldn't understand. The notorious bootlegger smuggled Templeton rye from the rum runners of the East Coast when America was dry. To some he was a hero, a modern day Robin Hood. To some a killer and a thief, devoid of any good. They finally caught up with him in 1931, locked him up for tax evasion, and his gambling days were done. They sent him way out west to the island in the bay, surrounded by men eating sharks. His cell was cold and gray, but in vivid technicolor he heard a melody, and on a pre-war Gibson he was once again set free. Now I hear banjos on the magnolia breeze. There's a black crow perched in the wicked winter freeze outside my window, right off of the Natchez Trace, from Alabama to Alcatraz. They call him Scarface. The warden has me licked. He wrote in ration ink. Some nut stabbed him with scissors, and Capone did barely blink. He clubbed him with his banjo in a fit of gangster rage. Just another morning in the California cage. After some good behavior, they let him strum again, and a ragged band of inmates turned to soulful music men. They called themselves the Rock Islanders, and word spread throughout the land, till every prisoner was jealous and wanted to join the band. I hear banjos on the magnolia breeze. There's a black crow perched in the wicked winter freeze outside my window, right off of the Natchez Trace, from Alabama to Alcatraz. They call him Scarface. Now where else but in a legend does such a soul belong, who after a storied life of crime died a man of song? To this day out on the water, at the setting of the sun, you can hear a ghostly banjo in cell 181. There we go, rock and roll. Hope you enjoyed the stream, everybody. I'll answer a couple final questions here, and then I'm going to log off. And I hope you'll have a great rest of your weekend. Pat says, have both courses on both Udemy and Invisible Technique. The courses are definitely worth it for anyone trying to learn fingerstyle. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate that. Scott Peck says, great to see you perform again. All the best to Genevieve and Waffle. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. I hope all is well. Maxime says, I love this song. Thank you, Maxime. I hope all is well with you as well. Sure, bravo, Joe. Thank you so much. It's nice to see some familiar names there tuning in. All right, well, I'm going to get on with my Saturday. And I wish you all the best. Take good care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to enjoy the music as always.